All right, so we are going to move on to the world of John Wick. Man, we've gone from family to horror now to action. We're covering all the genres, man. All right, so Ballerina, an assassin trained in the traditions of the Ruska Roma, an organization sets out to seek revenge after her father's death. That's a pretty straightforward action revenge plot.
Yeah, it takes place between John Wick Chapter 3 and John Wick Chapter 4. We see a certain scene from John Wick Chapter 3 from a different angle in this movie. As far as spin-offs go, I don't think I was necessarily craving one from the John Wick world, but I do like being in this place. I do like these characters. And there are certain action scenes in this movie that I think are pretty phenomenal and worth the price of admission.
Yeah, we talked about this movie at leaving the theater, and we talked a lot about structure. Because I know for you, we talked a little bit about the idea of an origin story. Whether it's an origin story for an action hero or heroine or a superhero, that idea of the origin story. This kind of follows that kind of beat for beat, but for me personally, I didn't necessarily have too much of a problem with that. I probably have a couple of different. For me, I probably give some leeway to it because, like I was telling you before, I just love this world. I love the world of John Wick, and anything that we can get in this world, I think I'm going to kind of eat it up. There have been talks behind the scenes that the shepherd of the John Wick universe, Chad Stahelski, who directed the last 4 films, came in and directed a lot of the reshoots because the director is Len Wiseman, and you can kind of see where a lot of that. You can see
the Len Wiseman scenes, and you can see the Chad Stahelski action scenes. I definitely lean more to other scenes, the Chad scenes.
Yeah, because I think, and you can tell in the second half of the film, but again, even with that being said, I think once we get ourselves kind of removed from the release of this movie, and then we kind of go back and look at it in rewatch, I think we're going to think less about who directed what and just kind of look at the movie as a whole. And as a whole, even though there are a lot of scenes in the beginning of this movie that don't really hit as well, considering the action, some of the action in this movie is extremely inventive in the ingenuity of how they stage a lot of these different action sequences. I mean, the whole thing with the gun, with the knife taped to the bottom of the handle, the ice skates, the grenade. There's so many sequences that I think
the flamethrowers.
The flamethrower, I think, is going to be. I mean, when you talk about just now looking at these 5 movies in the John Wick universe, the flamethrower sequence, whatever you think about this movie, is going to be one of the standout sequences for me in all of the John Wick movies. I thought that sequence was stellar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the beginning of this movie. I think it spends way too much time setting up the character. I kind of wish we just jumped right into the action and then picked up the information of why she's doing what she's doing as we move along through the action. I think that Ana de Armas, who I really love in a lot of movies, I don't find her particularly interesting in this film. And,
I agree with that.
And putting Keanu Reeves in here for a few sequences to play off her really just underscores how uninteresting of a character she is, as written and as depicted in Ballerina.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, and again, like you say, we're fans of her. It's not her fault. I just think the movie and the script doesn't really do her any
100%. And I think the villains in this film are really weak. I love Gabriel Byrne. He does what Gabriel Byrne's going to do with a mustache twirling villain. But there are some really rough henchmen that we have to suffer through in Ballerina. That I think is kind of unforgivable in a John Wick movie, which usually has the best, nameless goons on the planet.
I know, and they had opportunity in this movie to really kind of flesh out, or at least make a moment of a lot of the villains or those kind of number one goons that they have in the movie, especially like the character that she went up against with the flamethrower. He has a great look to him, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's not interesting.
And you know, they try to establish another female assassin character in this movie, and then they link her with our ballerina hero, and that just does not work.
No, not at all. And they could have done something interesting with that, but I mean, the moment they introduce it, they
throw it away.
They throw it away like almost immediately, and I'm like, well, why even introduce that? I don't know. There's a lot of things that are a little, confounding to me when I'm thinking about it. But again, like, and I've been talking to people who've seen the movie, and I don't know, I just had a blast with this. And I think if you're looking at it from the standpoint of like how we kind of see, I don't want to say all the John Wick movies, but as a showcase of action and what they continue to do to really kind of elevate and innovate the genre. I don't know. I'll give this one a B+ for me.
But Bryan, is it better than any John Wick movie?
No.
Not even close.
No. This is out of the 5 John Wick movies that we have now. This is easily number 5. And as I say that, I'm not saying that disparagingly to say that this movie is bad. But again, like I said, I love those John Wick movies, and this just doesn't compare to those films. But this does make me want to see more movies with Ballerina.
Yeah.
And just more spin-offs in this world.
So what I would say is that I'm less warm on this film than you are.
Okay.
And if we got another Ballerina movie, of course I'm going to watch it because I also like the world. But I also don't care if we get another Ballerina movie or not. Yeah. I'm more excited about another John Wick film. Although I kind of feel like the 4 John Wick films we have are kind of perfect.
I kind of feel that way too. I'm not going to lie, but do I want more?
What I want is more Chad Stahelski action films.
Yes. That's the correct answer right there. I want to see Chad Stahelski do more stuff outside of the John Wick world, and he's doing Highlander. We'll see.
I loved that series as a kid.
But so if he does with swords what he did with guns, I'm on board. So what's your rating for this one?
It's on the edge. But I said it was worth the price of admission. Flamethrower, knife gun, grenade belt. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So that's a B+ for both of us. And
if you liked what you just saw,
then check us out on YouTube at PGC TV Online, and we'll see you at the movies.